Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. It's that time again where we need to look at another colour reading for prediction purposes. Again, we're looking at birthdays, and if you're new here, then hopefully you'll come across something that you haven't seen before. Predictions using colour are quite different to those using tarot cards or the I Ching, for example. If you're a regular viewer, of course, then you know exactly what to expect. And I hope that this month, this upcoming month of July, will be a lot better for you than June was. Certainly, I hope it will be for me, because I do the things that I ask of you. I choose my colours and I incorporate them into my life as much as I possibly can. This month, I've chosen another Oracle card set. This one is called the Telepathy Oracle cards. Now, there's no information on them whatsoever as to where they came from, but I rather like them because of the messages that they give us. As usual, I've pre-shuffled the colour cards. Well, you could actually say I've pre-randomized them because I'm not much of a shuffler. And if you want to see that randomization process, there is a video called Shuffling for the Non-Shuffler that's in the playlist that you'll find this particular video under as well. This is a reading for people born in the month of February for June 2025. Let's see what it has in store for you. We'll begin with an oracle card. We'll just select one of these. And place it. I only want one. Just the one will do, thank you. Place it under here to look at the end of the colour reading and see how it ties in. And now, a colour reading for people born in February to see how their July 2025 is likely to unfold. The energy you bring with you into the month is yellow on pink. The energy throughout the month is grey on purple. Oops, only the one from you. The energy towards the end of the month is black on blue. And the energy that is underlying all of this is red on orange. So, what do we have here? The underlying energy, red on orange. It's a bit of a warning. Red and orange are next to one another in the colour wheel. They're both vibrant, they're both strong, they're both determined. And so too is the energy that you are bringing with you that will impinge upon everything that happens to you throughout the month. Orange internally is a need for confidence. It's a need to be able to stand up and be counted in a state of crisis. Red, on the other hand, as the action, is all about asserting yourself to the extent where you are taking risks. You might have to dominate some circumstance. You might have to even spill blood. And therein lies the potential danger in these two, because often the need to appear confident comes across as false confidence, and in the real world can cause quite a great deal of harm to you. So it's a warning. It's a warning to be careful what you choose to battle against. Choose your battles wisely. Otherwise, you won't just dominate. You might win, but at the same time, you might come out as an injured party as well. When we take this underlying energy and bring it to what is coming into the month of July for you, we find that the orange internally and the pink internally are pretty much at odds with one another. Orange means having to overcome crises, being able to assert yourself to the extent where you are confident and courageous and you will face whatever calamity comes towards you. Pink internally, on the other hand, is all about, I don't know how, I don't have the energy. So it's a case of being reluctant to engage or unable to engage in any sort of context that enables any sort of fight issue that might arise. The orange here, on the other hand, says, hey, you've got whatever it takes to be able to overcome issues, so why are you feeling so reluctant to engage? Interestingly, the yellow action with which this pink urges creates in the real world, the ability to learn from experience, to get out there and overcome fears by doing something that gives you a positive result that you can say, well, I know all about that because I have experienced it. That orange and pink together create a form of orange. Sorry, I'll try that again. The yellow and pink together create a form of orange. And in that, the orange here as the motivator, here is split across motivation and action. It causes you to need to reconsider or consider very carefully just what you're going to be engaged with, which is pretty much the same message as you've got back here. Red in the real world is a very strong form of the pink that we find here in the internal world. Here, I don't have the energy. Here, I've got more energy than I know what to do with. And so the impinging upon these is all about being able to overcome an issue that requires you to deal with a fright, because the yellow and red definitely make orange. So in the real world, you're splitting apart this survival issue that comes from the orange urges into courage, but also assertiveness and confidence as a result of having learnt and remembered particularly how to deal with any given situation. By the middle of the month, things are different though. Orange is a colour of crisis, but so too is purple. And both of these as motivators mean that there are great changes that are likely to have happened throughout July that have caused you to need to re-evaluate just what it is that you're doing with your life. Purple as an underlying energy always means that something has been broken and now needs to be healed or fixed. Something is no longer functioning the way it should function. Orange, as the underlying energies and motivator, says that you've got the confidence to do so. To take the necessary steps to undertake that healing process. But the purple healing need in the real world is accompanied by actions that are not particularly clear. You don't really understand what it is that needs to be fixed. You're not sure how to go about fixing it. You need to look at things from a different perspective, but are unsure which perspective to attach it to. And so this causes you to have to re-evaluate just what it is that has gone wrong in your life and now needs to be readjusted. As an action, this confusion and the need to look at things from a different perspective, linked with red, the need to get out there and do things that will make you seem to be in charge, causes a fair degree of frustration as well, because grey always darkens the colour that accompanies it or the colour that it works on. And so a darkened red is more a situation of impulsive activity. And you need to be aware of that and beware of it as well. Purple, healing, does not work well when you are impulsively acting in any direction that feels okay in the moment, but is not necessarily the direction that you really need to go. So there's a warning here as well. This is really not a very comfortable circumstance. You don't feel as though you need confidence unless there's a crisis that happens. At the same time, you don't need to feel as though something needs to be fixed unless something is already broken. To then add to that mixture and impulsiveness makes it for a bit of a difficult combination to deal with. By the end of the month, all of that has toned down. Things have quietened down immensely. Blue internally is the opposite of orange internally. Here, I need to be able to assert myself. Here, I just need to settle down. Calm down, not enough. Don't do any more. It's time to be stable, to situate yourself in a circumstance where everything is the way it should be. And moving from one to the other is probably a good thing, provided, of course, that what is happening in the real world also helps to calm things down. Well, in the real world, by the end of the month, you've got black. Black is the need for ultimate stability. It's the need to withdraw. It's the need to stop doing whatever it is that you were doing. What was that? Well, it's jumping at every shadow and trying to fight it. And instead, stabilize yourself so that you are able to create the peace and quiet and the stability that you need internally. Black in the real world often means having to stop and think about what it is that you really have done, what the consequences are of an action that you have taken, and how you're going to deal with those consequences. Red never thinks about consequences. And so with red and orange, we have a situation that is volatile. With black and blue, we have a situation in which you may be fairly bruised, physically, emotionally, mentally, as a result of what it is that you've done back here throughout the early parts of July. Let's have a look at what's missing. You have black, but there's no white. You have red, you have yellow, there's no green. You do have blue, there's no brown. There is orange, there is grey, there is purple, there is pink, but no cyan. Interesting. You have quite a number of different skills that you can draw upon throughout the month of July. And while they all offer a great deal of positive energy, they also contain within them, because of the way in which they are combined, a number of warnings and also cautions that you need to take into consideration as you travel through the month of July. The colours that are missing are the ones that will enable you to deal with those cautions, with those warnings, in such a way as to overcome the worst of them. So we have white and green and brown and cyan. White is all about enlightenment. It's about looking at the reality of a situation. There is very little reality here, a little bit down here in the yellow, but most of it has to do with what's going on inside yourself and how you physically and emotionally react to situations. White says, just stop for a minute and look at the real world. Green is accepting opportunities that are available as a result of the values that you hold. There are no values in here whatsoever, not even vaguely close. You don't seem to be able to tap into those values that you normally would, because here we have yellow and blue, which actually create green, but they are so far apart, one at the beginning of the month, the other at the end of the month, that there is no linking of the two. And your values don't allow you to look at things through the perspective of your heart. Cyan is all about stability, as is black, but this stability is one of calm, of completeness, of bliss, of being comfortable in the choices and the opportunities that have come your way and the things that you have done as a result of those. The black stability here is all about having to close off because things have gotten out of hand and you now need to step back from them. And brown, the other color that is missing here, is all about your goals, your motivations, your ambitions. What exactly were you planning on doing throughout the month of July that has ended up creating for you this battered and bruised, this black and blue feeling that occurs at the end of the month as a result of all of this red energy and orange need or drive to create chaos in order to be able to move forward? These four colors hold the key. So choose which is the most appealing and which is the least appealing, and then incorporate those into your life. And hopefully they will lead you on a slightly different path to the one that you're heading in here. And when you do feel these battered and bruised feelings at the end of the month, they won't actually be literal. They'll only be symbolic, and you will be able to overcome them. So let's now have a look at the Oracle card. What does it have to say? What we have here is clarity. Right. Take a moment to think about your situation to figure it out. That's exactly what this is about, but it's exactly what I've been saying about the warnings here and the end result here. Take a moment to think about your situation to figure it out before you get involved. So, lots to think about this month, don't you agree? I hope that the colours that you choose will be of benefit to you, and hopefully the colours that have been chosen for you will help to clarify some of the experiences that you will be undergoing in the month of July. Until we meet for the next colour reading, may the colours that you choose guide you and help you along the way. Until next time, bye.